Well, I'll start from here using a very simple word but a difficult word which means a lot to me, and it might make a lot of sense to a lot of people, which is a four-lettered word called Maya, M-A-Y-A. And I must start by saying that Mayapuri is one of the biggest scrapyards of Delhi. And this is a place which I frequent. And Mayapuri kind of creeps into my works, I would say, as metaphors, and it creeps in like, it occupies a lot of space in my work, actually. So I do not know if I'll be able to kind of take you to, to really say what the kind of process, how I start a work, what is my point of departure. But, well, the slide that you are looking at the moment is not very clear for me. It's not a very high resolution image. It's an image of a swearing-in ceremony, and the person on the right and the person on the left, if you can figure out, and there's a third person in the middle. And the backdrop is basically a mound of scrap in Mayapuri. And this is about a swearing-in ceremony. It's about lies. It's about fake promises. It's about a lot of things. And when I'm in front of these scraps, which is Mayapuri for me is kind of a graveyard, where you have these carcasses in metal, and I have a lot of kind of things fleeting my mind, which is of powerhouses, of people, of conflicts, and a lot of things. So this is one of this work which is kind of, which has come up from Mayapuri, actually, an inspiration from Mayapuri. Next one, please. This is an image which is in continuation. Mayapuri, like I said, in this image also you'll find a lot of metallic kind of objects, scrap, and but I would like to start talking about this work from the top image, practically on the center in the top, which I don't know if it's that clear for you. It's a very well-known painting by an impressionist painter from France called Edouard Manet. And this, to my mind, was a heavily criticized work and had been termed as one of the most racist works of all times. And you have this nude in the front and a lady at the back with a bouquet of flowers, which is not very clear. This is a kind of a sutradhar. It is a kind of reference to the creation of this work. And one of the critics had termed it as, had used these words, saying that the black lady had been painted by shoe polish. So from there, this was a painting which I had made after the present President of the United States of America, Mr. Barack Obama, was sworn in. And I have been kind of following, following black music, blues, jazz, boogie-woogies, ragtime, and also a lot of things happening in Africa. For me, it was a kind of a great achievement. It was a victory. It was a personal victory. So this is a work which is basically what I thought I would do as a point of departure when I started making this work. So here you see this inverted figure, the Olympia, which you see on the screen and the monitor on the top, is falling, which in French I would say la chute, which is the fall, and the toast. So there are a couple of layers in this work. You see I hope you can see these toasters on top, very literally used, and 3 toasters on your right, which is the blue, white, and red, which is the French flag, basically, where the first human rights revolution started, which is equality, fraternity, and whatever it is. Right? So, but liberty. Thank you. So, and the people that you see in this canvas surrounding, it's like almost like, after a hunt, that which we are familiar with a lot of these images where the animal killed is in the foreground and is surrounded, and the group photograph of very brave people who are very proud that they have hunted, they've killed this animal. So it's a kind of, it has a mixed sentiment actually. So this is how I kind of try to structure this work. And the children, the kids that you see in this work are children of Martin Luther King. Now, I have to say that there is a lot of photography which I use in my works and which are a direct reference to what I'm doing. So, and most of the work that I do are in black and white. And at times there are photographs which I use from the net or from different historical references, or from also, I mean, a very candid way of taking photographs when I think that I require to have photographs to be used, or to be used, I mean, in the work, which can kind of change, distort, and take its own place, make its own space. Otherwise, also, I use photographs which are direct prints, which are used alongside my large works. So just to give you an idea, this is a huge, I mean, I hate looking at my works in this size, because just to give you an idea, this work is 9 feet in height and 13 feet in length. So, so that's it. We'll go to the next slide. Now, this is something which I have been, my studio is in a place called Ayanagar. It's quite kind of similar, or it has a lot of similarity with the word Mayapuri that I used. And on my way to my studio and on my way back from my studio, there are these little huts and little you know, places where these lohars are kind of settled with their little carts and so on. And over a couple of years, I've been noticing that these people are not required anymore. I mean, their skills, they're ironsmiths, they're skillful craftsmen, but I don't think that we require them anymore. So there is still a little bit of requirement, in the sense that there is a category of people who go and buy utensils made by these people. Otherwise, majority of the people who go to them are different kinds of people, working class, from the working class community, who go to, you know, mend or repair their tools there. But over the years, that what I've been noticing is that these people have, I mean, you don't get to see what they make and what they do actually, or what they know what to do. They have been kind of picking up things from whatever sources that they have, and they are selling it because there's no requirement of their work at all. So on the top, there are 2 frames of photographs. Photography is something very, very essential in my work, like I said some time back. And this is, I would like to state that I have not done any arrangement. So this is something which I found that they were selling, and this was the arrangement. In the forefront, you see frames, very old-looking frames. They were not absolutely antique frames. And they had images of people who are no more, and candle stands. So my connect, or the point of departure, that how I kind of formed or structured this work, is on the basis of the word extinction. So like I look at this particular community who are almost on the verge of extinction, and at the same time, what they are selling has a great meaning also. These are old frames, old photographic frames, and at the same time, old images of people who are no more. We'll go back, go to the next frame. This is something which I've been kind of thinking of doing for a long time. Now, this is seated Gandhi, which is 8.5 feet in height. Almost similar to what a size of a Gandhi should be when placed in a public space. And now the point of departure in this work is that you get to hear a lot of people that we know, I don't want to name any of them, but who quote Gandhi left and right to convince people to talk what they want to. and so on. And I always felt at a point that Gandhi is kind of, a national product. So here I'm talking about the national product. And in a marketplace, but I wanted, the shift is this, that I wanted Gandhi to come into an interior in a much more intimate space and to kind of develop an interactive dialogue with the people coming and seeing the work actually. So it's the, along with the sculpture, there are about 36 signboards which you can see at the backdrop. And these signboards are all, I mean, somewhere there are a lot of politicians who are named as contact people, like you have a signboard of a shop saying that this is, I mean, from the name of the shop to what you sell and who the contact people actually, who to contact when you require something of this kind. So it is in relation to our leaders who kind of also sell themselves as products actually. So one, I will read it for you, which you have already seen, Mahakali Framers, and it carries an image of the goddess Kali, and it says, imported Chinese and Russian frames, contact Brinda. Another says, Matthew Spicy Rubber Products, GB Road. Another says, Modi's Tire Pencher. You see these spelling mistakes in different kinds of signboards. And mechanics available opposite Sabarmati Ashram, Gujarat. So I would not go on and go on, so we will go to the next slide. And I wanted also to tattoo the body of Gandhi also, because the work is titled Gandhi in a National Product and Many More. Next slide, please. That's the back, which is like snakes and ladders. Thank you. Now this is a work which which is quite a recent work. This was something which disturbed me a lot. I was a kid in Calcutta those days. The metro work was on, and much later that I get to read one of the articles of Mahashweta Devi as a writer and an activist who've been kind of fighting for the rights of people. And I get to know that under the leftist rule in Calcutta, the kind of exploitation, there was a huge import of labor for the metro railway, and the kind of crisis and the kind of exploitation that these workers had to go through. So I mean, being in Delhi for the last 2 decades, I just thought that, I've been living with this kind of inconvenience like many other Delhiites, driving from one place to the other, places dug up, incredible amount of nuisance and so on. But I would kind of look at these people, one would remember a lot of these people, from the chief of the metro to a lot of architects, engineers, whatever it is. But I would say that the main people who laid the foundation stone and the people who really responsible to create these structures would never be remembered. And this is a work which I did for a horrible show, I'm sorry to say that, for the Commonwealth show, which ran parallelly during the Commonwealth Games at the Lalit Kala Academy. I wanted to do a work with a group photograph, where I've been kind of shooting these people at different sites, construction sites, and I use these plastic chairs. I wanted to construct the whole thing as a group photograph. Like as you see in a group photograph, that the front row is with people seated, people standing at the back, and so on. And so it has been improvised in that manner. And it's kind of as a remembrance. And the work, and the title of the work says, Will You Remember? I just wanted to freeze a frame as a kind of memento or a kind of a souvenir to remember these people. Thank you. There's the next one.